You can't type in how to grow hair fast. Literally, those like get long hair quick schemes, they're not gonna work. They're literally not gonna work. Like, you have to put in the work. I titled this video why your hair isn't growing, but really the tea is just that your hair is growing. Your hair is always growing. There's never a time where your hair will not be growing, period. But are you retaining length? That's the real question you should be asking yourself. And if you clicked on this video, then you're probably not. The culprit for why you're not retaining length is dryness and breakage. Your hair is probably dry or brittle, and therefore your hair is probably breaking at the same rate that your hair is growing. Therefore, you're not seeing any growth. You're not retaining the length enough to see the growth. Therefore, your hair is growing and breaking off at the same time. So it's kind of like stagnant. One of the tips is that you're choosing damaged length over health. The reason that you shouldn't be doing that is that if you have damaged ends, like split ends, for example, they're gonna keep splitting up the shaft of your hair and causing more breakage while your hair is growing. You might as well cut it off with some hair shears or some hair scissors, and make sure you're not using just regular old scissors with like the ones that you use in the kitchen or for cutting just anything. Use the ones that are sharp and specifically made for your hair. You want to trim or dust your ends. Like, I would say it's really up to you and up to preference, because I only trim my hair maybe once a year, but you gotta really pay attention to your hair and see, like, is your hair really not healthy at the ends? You want to go get it professionally cut, or you want to cut it yourself. There's lots of videos out there for trimming your ends, or you can dust your ends every like couple of months, just depending on your own hair. Number two, the reason why your hair isn't growing is because you will not leave it alone. Like, literally the key to growth is just leaving your hair alone. Like, stop manipulating it constantly. Stop touching it so much. Stop trying to do every hairstyle that there is and constantly bouncing from like one hairstyle to the next and taking your hair out of braids and putting it in braids. Like, that manipulation is gonna lead to breakage, because when you're touching and constantly doing that to your hair, and it's just too much for it to handle so frequently. Because low-key, lazy naturals have the longest hair. Low-key. Like, low-key. You want to keep like a low manipulation type of hairstyle, or keep your hopping from hairstyle to a, not a minimum, because it's doable if you know how to protect your hair. You want to stick to having a low manipulation type of regimen. The next tip is protective styling. You're probably not doing enough protective styling that will help your hair grow. For me, protective styling was literally the key to me just not touching my hair, like not having to do this and that or the other. Like, just put it in braids, put it in faux locks, and just be done. Put it in wigs, like braid my hair underneath and just be done. But you do want to do protective styling in moderation, meaning that you don't want to do hella tight styles that will be pulling at your edges, or you want to also beware of like tight hairstyles, because that can lead to traction alopecia, where at that point your hair is going to be hard for it to grow back, because it's so much tugging and pulling at your hair and at your hairline that it I don't know what to tell you. Like, you could probably grow back from traction alopecia, but it's definitely a hindrance to your hair journey. And also, when you're doing protective styling, you wanna, listen to your hair. Does it feel dry or brittle, or feels like it needs some type of moisture? You wanna always just, if you're doing some type of protective style, it can be anywhere from like 2 weeks to 2 months, just depending on your hair type and what it is that you're doing. For example, when I do braids, I don't keep my braids in longer than 2 months. Like, really, a month and a half, I can tell that my hair needs to probably be taken out. The next tip is detangling. You're probably not seeing a lot of length retention because the detangling method that you're using is probably not beneficial to your hair. You just gotta use some trial and error and see what's best for your hair. Some people dry detangle, some people detangle on damp hair, some people detangle in the shower when their hair is completely wet. So adjust your routine. For me, I know that it's best when I pre-poo my hair, so that when I'm detangling it, it's a little bit more easier, and that the shampoo is not stripping my hair, my natural oil, so much that my hair starts locking around each other. I would also say try incorporating methods that will leave you with the least amount of hair coming out as possible. So for me, I transitioned from using combs, like a wide tooth comb first, to using my fingers first, and then if I need to, go back in with a wide tooth comb to make sure I've gotten everything. And just always be gentle with your hair. I feel like that's the process where a lot of people get really frustrated with their hair, trying to just rip through your hair, like to just get it over with because your arms are tired or you're just tired of your hair. But if you are gentle and work in sections, those type of things will help you retain length the most, because you're probably breaking off your hair at that point. Another tip is that your hair is probably too dry or brittle, so you need to probably incorporate a deep conditioner and or a protein treatment, because dry hair will lead to breakage. If your hair is dry and there's no moisture, what do you think will happen to the oldest part of your hair, which are the ends? It will literally come off. So try deep conditioning. Try maybe if your hair is really dry, try first doing it every week or bi-weekly. And if you feel like that still is not solving the case, then you probably need a balance in between moisture and protein. Protein treatments are going to make your hair strong so that when you're pulling on it, it doesn't just snap. Because when you have too much moisture, your hair will probably just like pull until it breaks off. But when you add protein treatment, it makes it stronger. Another tip is using direct heat too excessively. You always want to make sure that you use a heat protectant, like always. For me, the major culprit of like my length retention was constantly putting too much heat on it. Like my type of hair and my fine hair strands are naturally weak, so they can only take so much heat and at a certain temperature. For you, you might have coarse strands, so you might be able to get away with doing more styles that require straight hair or using a blow dryer than I do, and your hair will probably still be as strong as mine. But the thing is that when you're using too much heat and you're using it constantly, that is not going to be good for your hair. So that's flat ironing, blow drying, a curling iron. Yeah, your hair isn't probably growing because you have not nailed down a regimen yet. You don't want to do too much where you're adding in so many products and you're just trying things out because you're looking at the next YouTuber and seeing what their regimen is and you want your hair to be like that. That is not the way to get down a regimen. Definitely trial and error, but you don't want to become a product junkie to the point where you have lost like the consistency in what your routine is supposed to be. Definitely be consistent though, so when you do nail down a routine, stick to it and see the growth. You can't really see if your hair likes something if you only do it one time. You want to make sure that you're doing a set routine for maybe a couple of months before you realize, okay, this is not working, and you can take out a specific product rather than changing your whole routine or getting rid of all of the products at once. And definitely listen to your hair. If you feel like something is not, like if you added in a product and you feel like something is not working, take it out. If your hair is dry, moisturize it or deep condition. If you feel like your scalp is starting to flake, like spritz some water or use like a DIY treatment. You know, stuff like that. Like listen to what your hair is saying. At first, I didn't understand the concept of listening to your hair because I was like, so what? Like, what is my hair going to tell me that I don't already know? But like your hair will literally react to whatever it is that you're doing, saying that it likes or does not like it. And you'll notice, like you'll really notice the difference. Another tip for retaining length is keeping a healthy diet. I would for sure say that when you're eating proper nutrients and you're fueling your body, it's not only visible in how you act day to day and how your like physical health is, but you'll see it in your nails, you'll see it in your hair, you'll see it like different ways. Also when you exercise and getting proper exercise throughout the day. I also realized that when you exercise enough, your water intake will gradually increase, and that is also good for your hair. Thing is also your mental health. Are you stressing out a lot? A lot of times that can have a negative impact on your body. I know people who like their hair will start to fall out if they stress too much, or like, for me, I break out when I stress. Literally, what's processing in your brain can also affect your physical body. And then vitamins. If you're lacking in proper nutrients that you're not getting from just your meals, then you can supplement what you're taking by taking vitamins. And that doesn't have to necessarily be like hair vitamins that people always try and label on certain products. Do your research and take vitamins that you feel like are going to be beneficial to your hair. They don't always have to be described as hair vitamins. It can just be biotin itself or folic acid or whatever. The last tip I would have is to be patient and have realistic expectations for your hair. When you have realistic expectations, then you won't be so frustrated with what is going on with your hair, because your hair can't grow 2 inches a month. That's just like not possible. But 3 to 5 inches a year, yes. Let's say you're doing like a length check. I would say like do it every 3 months to notice, to see if you grew an inch, you know? Or if you're doing everything in your power to retain length and have realistic expectations and be patient, you should see yourself retaining maybe 3 to 5 inches a year, give or take. You might trim or dust your ends every now and then. That is literally, it's scientifically proven, like your hair cannot grow that fast. People doing all these crazy like treatments and I don't even know, these get long hair quick schemes, like it's not possible. You can't make your hair do those things, like flipping your head upside down to like massage your scalp and make your hair grow faster. Like, no. No, it's not gonna work. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the labor. You have to put in the time. You have to be patient. It's literally, that stuff applies to life.
Nothing enough to say, like, period.
It will take time, and it will take patience, and it will take consistency and dedication. If you just do the proper things that are supposed to get you to where you're supposed to go, and you're patient about it, then you'll be fine with your expectations. That's the key. Put in work. Put in work. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please like it. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please subscribe and comment below and let me know a tip for retaining length, because I might not have covered all of them. Probably not. So help me out. But that's it, y'all. See you in my next one.